You felt it, haven't you? That subtle change in the air, like something sacred has shifted. Not in the world outside you, but in the unseen space between your hearts. You may not have words for it, but your soul knows. Something is stirring. There was a time you cried out in silence, hoping he would hear you across dimensions, across lifetimes, across timelines. And though the world seemed still, heaven was already moving. The energy began shifting the moment you let go, not in anger, but in truth, because it was never about distance. It was always about frequency. And now that your soul is rising into a higher vibration, he is being pulled, not by force but by remembrance. You are no longer chasing, you are calling him forth with your alignment. He's feeling it in the quiet, where he used to feel numb. In the moments he can't explain why your name shows up in his thoughts, why songs sound different, why your presence, once pushed away, now lingers like an echo inside his chest. This isn't imagination. This is spiritual memory returning to its source. Your evolution didn't push him away. It created a mirror. And now in your stillness, he is beginning to see himself more clearly than ever before. Not the version of himself he performed for the world, but the one that only ever existed in your presence. The one you saw when no one else did. That vision, it's haunting him now, but not in fear, in awakening. You see, while you were healing in the open, he was unraveling in silence. And now, the unraveling has reached his spirit. The dreams are starting. The flashbacks, the realizations that go deeper than logic. He is remembering not just you, but who he was when he was with you. You didn't need to send a message. You didn't need to knock on closed doors. Your energy did what your words could never do. It traveled. It wrapped around his soul like a song he forgot he loved. And now he's listening. His heart is stirring. He doesn't know why the timing suddenly feels urgent. He doesn't know why he's drawn to the things that remind him of you. But it's because you've shifted, and the spiritual bond cannot remain untouched when one soul begins to rise. You've become magnetic, not because of desire, but because of embodiment. You became what you were always meant to be, a living reminder of what love feels like when it is rooted in the divine. And now, he's feeling the cost of his resistance, not as punishment, but as pressure. Pressure to rise, pressure to shed, pressure to return, not to the past, but to the version of himself that can finally meet the level where your soul now lives. But be warned, beautiful one. This awakening doesn't guarantee arrival. It only guarantees movement. His journey is his own. His remembering is sacred. But your role was never to carry him there. It was to rise so he'd remember the path. You were not forgotten. You were simply hidden in plain sight until his eyes could truly see. And the more you bloom in your truth, the more his memory clears. He's not just remembering what was, he's awakening to what still could be. The pull he feels isn't lust, it's legacy, a soul agreement activated by your healing. And now the parts of him that once rejected your light are learning to long for it. Not because they miss comfort, but because they crave truth. He may fight it, he may run again, but something has changed. This time, the running won't silence the voice. The distraction won't mute the pull. The illusion won't erase the memory, because your energy has already entered the room before you ever did. He is waking up, slowly, yes, clumsily maybe, but the veil is lifting. The places he buried you in his mind are cracking open. The energy you carry cannot be forgotten. It can only be ignored until it can't. Let this be your confirmation. You're not crazy. You're not reaching. You're not imagining. The shift is real. The remembering has begun. And though you cannot see the outcome, you can trust the unfolding. Stay in your lane of light. Keep choosing yourself. Keep rising. Because every layer you shed invites him to shed his own. Every truth you embody gives him permission to confront his. You are leading, not by force, but by frequency. And if he's meant to meet you in the new timeline, he will. But you must not shrink to bring him there. Let him stretch. Let him stumble. Let him remember. Because your light is not only calling him, it's calling him higher. He doesn't fully understand what's happening to him, but the signs are becoming louder. He sees your name in places that don't make sense. He feels a pull when the night gets quiet, like something unfinished is calling for his attention. You are no longer just a memory. You're a vibration moving through his field. And with every breath you take in alignment, you ripple through his subconscious, shaking loose the walls he built to forget what was sacred. There is no map for this kind of awakening. It doesn't come with logic, and it doesn't obey time. It unfolds in layers, some gentle, some violent. And now the first veil has been torn. He's starting to see. He's noticing the places where his soul feels empty. The women who can't reach him, the noise that used to numb him, the ambitions that once fulfilled him but now fall flat. Something feels missing, and that something is the version of him he only knew with you. Your love wasn't loud. It wasn't theatrical. It was divine. And because it was divine, it could not be buried. Now it whispers to him in silence, asking questions he can't answer, and drawing him toward healing he never thought he'd face. You must understand, beloved. He's not just remembering you. He's remembering who he was when he believed in magic, when he trusted love, when his soul felt alive in your presence. And now, the ache of that absence is his invitation back to himself. Do not confuse his delay with disinterest. Delay is not denial in the spiritual realm. It's preparation, and some awakenings take longer because the soul has built more walls to break through. His remembering is a process, not a switch. And even now, while he distracts himself with routines and people and noise, he can't stop wondering why he suddenly dreams of you again. Why he wakes up with your voice in his mind, though he hasn't heard it in months or years. It's because energy speaks when words are silenced, and your energy, so fiercely anchored in self-worth now, is unshakable. He feels that. He feels your boundary. He feels your light. And it terrifies him. Not because it hurts, but because it heals. He was never afraid of you. He was afraid of being seen, and no one ever saw him the way you did. Now he longs to be seen again, but this time he knows he must become worthy of that gaze. That's the awakening, that's the shift. While you pour into yourself, he is learning what it means to pour without being full. He is recognizing the difference between attention and connection, between lust and love, between noise and presence. You taught him that, even in your absence. He will start questioning everything. Not because you asked him to, but because your absence made him realize he had more questions than answers. And in those questions, he will start looking for truth, not comfort. This is how divine love works. It doesn't cling, it activates. It doesn't demand, it invites. And your love was an invitation that he declined too soon. But heaven doesn't close doors without leaving keys behind. He is finding those keys now, in conversations that stir something in him, in the quiet after a celebration that leaves him emptier than before, in the scent of something that reminds him of you when he's not even thinking about you. The remembering is inconvenient. It interrupts his life. It shows up during important meetings, during idle walks, during songs he never really listened to before. That's how spirit works. It moves through the cracks when the walls start crumbling. And now that the walls are weakening, his heart is asking questions he once silenced. What if I was wrong? What if I let go of something real? What if she was never asking for too much, but showing me what I didn't yet know how to hold. He may reach out, he may hesitate, he may even come close and then pull back. This is the dance of awakening. It's messy, inconsistent, filled with fear and hope at once. Be steady, be still. He is finding his way. Do not make yourself smaller to meet him where he left you. He must rise, he must walk, he must shed the version of himself that forgot how to love. Because the one you loved is still inside him, he just buried it to survive. Your soul agreed to this, to be the mirror, to be the light, to be the quiet reminder that divine love doesn't die. It waits in sacred silence until remembrance stirs. And now the stirring has begun. So stand tall in your frequency. Stay true to your healing. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of something ancient waking up in him. Something that started long before this lifetime. And something that just might return. You may not feel it yet, but timelines are bending around your name. Not because you're waiting, but because you're walking. Your footsteps, guided by light, are altering the path not only for yourself, but for him too. There's a sacred ripple effect in motion. Every time you honor your intuition, he feels the shift. Every time you say no to what drains you, something inside him grows restless. He doesn't know why yet, but the pull is becoming harder to ignore. He's starting to notice the imbalance, the way empty connections leave him hollow, the way shallow praise can't touch what you once saw in him. You offered soul, and now nothing less satisfies. That's how energy rewrites memory. Even in your silence, your love speaks, not as a whisper of the past, but as a call into becoming. You're not haunting him, you're reminding him. You are the echo of truth in a world that taught him to forget. He may try to rationalize it, to dismiss the pull as nostalgia, but it's not nostalgia when the heart starts to ache at 2:07 a.m. with your name in his chest and no reason why. That's soul memory. That's divine timing. The masculine awakening is slow for a reason. It demands discomfort. It breaks ego, it rewrites identity. And you, beloved, were the spark, the one his soul signed a contract with to ignite what he swore he wasn't ready to feel. That contract is being fulfilled now, not through words, but through energy. His guides are whispering, his heart is nudging, his dreams are showing pieces of you he thought he buried. But the truth never stays buried for long. He doesn't know it yet, but you've become the standard. The silent blueprint of depth he now unconsciously seeks in every interaction. He'll find glimpses of you in others, but the resonance won't match. The vibration will feel off, and it will frustrate him. Because he won't understand why. Nothing feels quite right, until he stops searching outward and starts listening inward. That's when your energy will ring the loudest, not as memory but as magnetism. You're not drawing him back by force, you're calling him higher by alignment. And the closer you get to your divine self, the more your frequency becomes undeniable. This is how divine love works. It teaches by example, not by demand. He may feel guilt, regret, even shame, but those are just shadows being burned away by light. Let him feel it. Let it soften him. Let it humble him. Only then will he be ready to remember with reverence, not entitlement. And when he does, it won't just be about getting you back. It will be about returning to the part of himself that knew how to cherish something rare. That version of him has been asleep, but your evolution is waking him up. You might feel his energy circling, like he's close but not quite ready. Trust that instinct. He's orbiting, watching, sensing, waiting for the courage to match your light. Not because you asked, but because your soul called him into accountability. And now he must choose. Stay asleep in patterns that numb him, or awaken into love that stretches him. You cannot make this choice for him, but you can honor the choice you already made, to rise. Don't underestimate the power of detachment rooted in love. It's not apathy, it's trust. Trust that what is meant for you will meet you with full presence, not half-hearted attempts. Trust that the divine always honors frequency. This isn't just about him. It's about you reclaiming the truth that you were never waiting. You were preparing, and now you've become a portal, a light he cannot touch unless he too becomes illuminated. He will remember you not because you stayed, but because you became. You didn't shrink to be chosen. You expanded to be aligned. And now, that expansion is calling him to do the same. So don't question the silence. Don't fear the delay. Everything is aligning behind the scenes. His soul knows. His spirit remembers. The divine masculine may run from noise, but it cannot outrun a soul frequency that feels like home. Stay grounded. Stay luminous. The remembering is accelerating. And you, beloved, are the beacon in the dark that his soul has always known how to find. Somewhere deep inside him, the resistance is cracking. Not all at once, but in subtle ways that even he can't name. He finds himself pausing longer at things that used to be background noise. He feels slower, more aware, more unsettled. Because your energy doesn't demand attention, it commands reflection. And now that you've shifted into alignment, your presence is doing what words never could. It's creating friction in everything false around him. You were never just a chapter. You were the undercurrent of truth running beneath every decision he made since. He didn't forget you. He suppressed the parts of himself that could only exist in your light. And now that suppression is leaking. He sees couples and suddenly wonders why it never felt that safe. He hears laughter and remembers the way yours filled every room like sunlight. He turns off the noise, but your silence somehow still finds him. The masculine awakening doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with tension, a tightening in the chest, a stirring in the gut, a whisper that won't go away. She was different. She saw me. She stayed true, even when I didn't know how to. Now he's questioning his own patterns, the way he pushes love away and calls it freedom, the way he avoids emotion and calls it strength. But your energy doesn't support illusions. It exposes, reflects. It invites him back into truth. He's not just missing you. He's missing the version of himself he could only access around you. The softness, the stillness, the part of him that felt like he belonged, not because he performed, but because he was fully known. You didn't just love him, you reminded him he had a soul. And that memory is haunting him in the best way possible. He's realizing it wasn't chaos you wanted, it was depth. And he's starting to ask, why was I afraid of depth? He doesn't have the full language. Yet, he might not call it awakening. He may not say twin flame or soul bond, but he feels it. And feeling is the language of transformation. He is being undone from the inside out. This unraveling will not be comfortable. He may lash out, withdraw, pretend to be unfazed, but his spirit is already moving, slowly sinking with a frequency it tried to forget, but never stopped craving. You are the catalyst. Not because you stayed, but because you rose. Not because you tried harder, but because you surrendered deeper. Your surrender wasn't weakness. It was a signal to the universe that you were ready to be met. And now, the universe is responding, not by forcing him back, but by leading him forward. If he chooses the path, he will have to confront every version of himself that made you feel like you were too much. Because now he knows you were just right. This path is sacred. Not easy, not linear, but sacred. And your trust in divine timing is what makes it magnetic. He feels it in his bones, even if his mind doesn't yet have the words. That's the power of feminine embodiment. He may reach out in fragments, in fear, in hesitation. He may test the waters not to manipulate, but to see if he's even allowed to stand near your light anymore. And you will know, not by his words, but by his energy. Don't rush. Don't shrink. Don't rescue. You are not here to save him. You are here to be you, fully, freely, unapologetically. And if his soul is ready, it will rise. If not, your light will still shine, undimmed. He is feeling it. The unraveling of ego, the ache of truth, the warmth of what used to be. And buried beneath all that confusion is something deeper. A question forming in his soul. What if she was never the one who ran? What if I was? That question alone is breaking chains. Not because of guilt, but because of recognition. And recognition is the first step toward return, not to the past, but to the present moment where love can actually live. So when the energy feels heavy, know this. It's because something is moving. Not behind you, but toward you. Slowly, unpredictably, but with purpose. His remembering isn't complete, but it has begun. And in the sacred unfolding of all things, the remembering always leads to choice. And now, for the first time, he realizes the next move might be his, but the power, beloved, was always yours. Thank you for allowing this message to reach your heart. If something in your soul stirred while reading, know that it wasn't by accident. This was meant for you in this exact moment of your journey. To confirm you've received this divine message, type in the comments, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Let this be your sacred agreement with the universe that you are open, aligned, and ready. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another angelic message meant to guide, uplift, and awaken you. The angels are still speaking. Stay close, stay grounded, and stay open to the next message. It may arrive sooner than you think.